Hi guys, it's Steffi from the Novelty Corner and welcome to another Storytime Sunday. I'm filming one of these videos every Sunday as part of the Believeathon where I read you 2 Australian picture books because why not? This week I'm going to read Wombat Stew by Marisha K. Vaughan and illustrated by Pamela Lotz. This is a book I really love reading at Halloween time here just because well, you'll see why. It's not a Halloween book, but it is sort of appropriate for Australian Halloween stories, and this was first published I think in around 1984, so it's quite an old book. It's been around my entire life and I absolutely love it. And I'm also going to read Pig the Pug by Aaron Blabey. Pig the Pug is quite a popular book series here, and Aaron Blabey is quite a popular children's book author. It is a little bit more contemporary, just one of those stories that really appeals to younger readers. So let's start with Wombat Stew. Wombat Stew by Marisha K. Vaughan and Pamela Lotz. One day on the banks of a billabong, a very clever dingo caught a wombat and decided to make wombat stew, gooey, brewy, yummy, chewy, wombat stew. Platypus came ambling up the bank. "Good day, Dingo," he said, snapping his bill. "What is all that water for?" "I'm brewing up a gooey, chewy stew with that fat wombat," replied Dingo with a toothy grin. "If you ask me," said Platypus, "the best thing for a gooey stew is mud. Big blops of billabong mud." "Blops of mud," Dingo laughed. "What a good idea. Right, in they go." So Platypus scooped up big blops of mud with his tail and tipped them into the billy can. Around the bubbling billy, Dingo danced and sang, wombat stew, gooey, brewy, yummy, chewy, wombat stew. Waltzing out from the shade of the ironbarks came Emu. She arched her graceful neck over the brew. "Oh ho, Dingo," she fluttered, "what have we here?" "Gooey, chewy wombat stew," boasted Dingo. "If only it were a bit more chewy," she sighed. "But don't worry, a few feathers will set it right." "Feathers," Dingo smiled. "That would be chewy. Righto, in they go." So into the gooey brew, Emu dropped her finest feathers. Around and around the bubbling billy, Dingo danced and sang, wombat stew, crunchy munchy for my lunchy, wombat stew. Old Blue Tongue the lizard came sliding off his sun-soaked stone. "Silly Dingo," he hissed. "There are no flies in this stew. Can't be wombat stew without crunchy flies in it." And he stuck out his bright blue tongue. "There's a lot to be said for flies," agreed Dingo, rubbing his paws together. "Righto, in they go." So Lizard snapped 100 flies from the air with his long tongue and flicked them into the gooey, chewy stew. Around and around and around the bubbling billy, Dingo danced and sang, wombat stew, crunchy munchy for my lunchy, wombat stew. Up through the red dust popped Echidna. "Wait a bit, not so fast," he bristled, shaking the red dust from his quills. "Now I've been listening to all this advice, and take it from me. For a munchy stew you need slugs and bugs and creepy crawlies." Dingo wagged his tail. "Why, I should have thought of that. Righto, in they go." So Echidna dug up all sorts of creepy crawlies and dropped them into the gooey, chewy, crunchy stew. The very clever Dingo stirred and stirred, all the while singing, wombat stew, hot and spicy, oh so nicey, wombat stew. "Aha!" cried Dingo, "now my stew is missing only one thing." "What's that?" asked the animals. "That fat wombat." "Wait, stop, hang on, Dingo. You can't put that wombat into the stew yet." "Why not?" "You haven't tasted it." "Righto, I'll taste it," said Dingo, and that very clever Dingo bent over the billy can and took a great big slurp of stew. "I'm poison," he howled. "You've all tricked me." And he dashed away deep into the bush, never again to sing, wombat stew, gooey, brewy, yummy, chewy, wombat stew. I really like this one just because of all the Australian animals and the song, and it, like I said, it makes a really good Halloween story with an Australian twist because of throwing a whole lot of ingredients into a big pot. I've used this a lot of times with my younger students around Halloween time. So this one's a lot of fun. And then you have Pig the Pug, who, if you haven't heard about it, Pig is a rather selfish pug, and you're going to find out why. Pig the Pug by Aaron Blabey. This was first published in 2014. Pig was a pug, and I'm sorry to say, he was greedy and selfish in most every way. He lived in a flat with a sausage dog Trevor, but when was he nice to him? I'll tell you, never. "You've got some great toys there," poor Trevor would say, but Pig would just grumble, "They're mine, go away." "But it might be more fun," said Trevor to Pig, "if we both played together." Well, Pig flipped his lid. No, they're mine. Are you deaf? Only mine. You keep your paws off, you sausage-shaped swine. I know what your game is. You want me to share, but I'll never do that. I won't, and I swear. And with that, he proceeded to gather his stuff and make a big pile with a huff and a puff. And once he had gathered them up in a pile, he howled from the top with a satisfied smile. There, shouted Pig. Now you won't get my loot. It's mine, 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 mine. So why don't you scoot? But just at that moment, poor Trevor did see the pile was wobbling. Oh dear me. Watch out up there, good Trevor did cry. But the shame of it was, well, pigs can't fly. These days it's different, I'm happy to say. It's so very different in most every way. Yes, Pig shares his toys now, and Trevor's his friend, and they both play together, while Pig's on the mend. And that's the story. There are now 4 or 5, possibly more, other books in this series. There's Pig the Star, Pig the Winner. I think there's a Christmas one as well. So there's a whole lot of books in this series about Pig. And yes, he's an interesting little dog. In the comments below, let me know if you have read these stories before or if it's the first time hearing them. I hope that you've enjoyed them, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.